Hello, everybody. This is Bowie Abiola at Raise Your Game Esports, and today we have a special guest today, Christopher Williams, the founder of A Gamer's Nostalgia in Rochester, New York. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having me on today.
Awesome, awesome. What got you into gaming and esports?
Well, what really got me into gaming and esports was just when I opened my store. And Opening my store just opened me up to a whole new world of a different type of gaming that I was slightly familiar with, but I had a vague view of what it was. So once I was able to get in, open, and start having tournaments, that's what really like opened my eyes to the wow goodness and to see how expansive the esports world was.
Awesome, awesome. And what are your favorite video games in general?
Uh, my favorite video games in general, I'm always an RPG guy. Right now, whenever I can get a spare minute, which isn't very often nowadays, I love to play Diablo 3. It's just easy to pick up, easy to put down. You can kind of just play whenever you want. Friends can join in and jump out whenever they want. And I'm always a big fan of couch co-op games. So anything that I can sit down with three or four friends and play together, those are also my favorite titles. So, but Diablo, I love the classics. So I'm a big Gold guy. I'm a big Gauntlet guy. And I'm a big Streets of Rage guy.
Awesome, awesome. And what is Gamers Nostalgia and how and when was it started?
A Gamer's Nostalgia is Rochester's premier video game arcade and lounge. It's actually started. I got my original DBA back in I think February of 2012, but I opened my store in February 2014. So we're actually coming up on my 5th year anniversary this February.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And do you have a main vision for Gamers Nostalgia? Like what's your main vision for it and what does Gamers Nostalgia do?
My vision for Gamers Nostalgia is really just to unite gamers from all platforms and all places to be a place and pretty much be a hub where people come to game, where they come to play it, talk about it, watch it, just be a part of it. You know, and anything that's going on, whether it's tournaments or speed runs or birthday parties, lock-in, whatever the case may be. I want the Gamers Nostalgia to be the place where people come to game. So,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
um, basically, what I do is I host a myriad of different events. So, like I said before, birthday parties, overnight lock-ins, tournaments are always a huge thing here in Rochester. Just giving the fighting game community and first-person shooter community, and then, even some of the RPG guys, giving them a home to come play. So,
Awesome. And have you encountered any challenges or setbacks?
oh
What?
man.
Oh, can you tell us all about it?
There's well, we run the business. There are many different obstacles that pop up. You know, obviously, just from a legal side, learning all the legal jargon and figuring out what works for you and what works for your business. And one of the challenges is just kind of knowing where the money should go and how much goes to advertising and how much are you willing to spend on rent each month and making sure your inventory is correct and making sure that your supplies and your inventory is secure, and then always making sure that you can give your customers the best possible product. So um, I've encountered a lot of things over the years. Unfortunately, my store has been broken into before, and I actually had when I first opened on Culver Road for almost 5 years ago. My store was broken into, and at the time, it was I think it was around that time, 2014. I want to say when Xbox One and PS4 were pretty new, pretty fresh to the scene. So that day they came in, whoever it was, they cleared me out and they took everything but the TV. So I had four controllers at each station and the systems and the games. And by the time I finished counting up on my losses, it came up to about $6,000. So
Oh, I'm
yeah,
so sorry about that. Were you able to
it
catch the
happens.
guy? Were you able to?
I had no, they actually didn't catch him, and unfortunately, this goes back to that legal jargon. My insurance it only covered about 1,900 of the
Oh,
$6,000 that got stolen, and it was because of the way that my insurance was signed. So it was just something I had to learn, and whenever I sign my future insurance policies, I always have to make sure that I'm covered put to the T. You know.
I understand. And
Yeah.
how were you able to overcome these setbacks?
It just, I have a great support system. I have family that loves me, and I have family that's there and very supportive of my dream. And I have great friends who, and the Rochester Fighting Game community was a really big part. And this is one of the reasons why I always feel indebted to them, because when I got broken into, like that next tournament, almost all the proceeds went to um, helping me kind of get some equipment back, and they made a big deal, and they were able to help out with the GoFundMe. So they were always they were pretty active with the recovery of and the resurgence of AGN when it came to dealing with things after the robbery. So I was truly appreciative of that, and it was tough, but like just having the support systems and having people who care and people who value my business really helped me recover from that.
Did you? So together we can stand strong. So
Absolutely.
together, absolutely, together we can stand strong. And I'm so glad that people rallied behind you and helped you in a time of need.
Yep.
That was amazing, and I love the sense of community that that esports and gaming brings together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the fact, and I'm big on community as well. It's something I'm trying to build within the sports community. I mean, it's still kind of solo and isolated and mano y mano. So I'm trying to build that community because I know just having that community aspect, man, it makes all the difference in the world when you're talking about dealing with tragedy, dealing with setbacks, dealing with emotions. Because a lot of people forget we play games, but then we're still human beings and we have lives outside of that, and different things happen. So there's nothing like feeling like, okay, there's someone out there that cares about me, and they care about me in a way that's beneficial to my life. So yeah, I love the community aspect as well.
Awesome, awesome. And does a Gamer's Nostalgia have
We actually recently just picked up Salvatore's as a sponsor. They did Salvatore's on South Clinton Avenue. They like what we do, and I spoke to the manager, and we were able to sit down at the table and kind of ink a deal. And so they're one of our sponsors right now. So it's been a wonderful opportunity to be a part of that and to have the kind of the backing of a bigger name here in Rochester, New York.
Awesome. And have you?
Yeah.
So it seems like you've had multiple sponsors before, right?
We have it's Tajay's Wine and Lounge has been a sponsor before. Um, we let me see, it's been a while. We going back 4 or 5 years now. So Tajay's was one of them. We had a couple small businesses, some of them that unfortunately are going out of business as sponsors. But everybody who's pretty much been a part of the community, they wanted to kind of give in their way or be a part in their way. So sponsorship was always a way that we were able to work together.
Oh yes. And how did you guys work together?
Um, it varies on the business. In all honesty, some businesses are financially stable and they're able to give money. Some businesses want to give you time. Some businesses want to come in and run different events with you. So it really depends on the business and what their vision is, what their goal is, and what their end goal is as far as what they want for their business as well. So most times, it's almost kind of a exchange of airtime or an exchange of notoriety of what do they call it, exposure. So those things have happened, but then you also had businesses that come through. The Rochester Foam Dart League, they sponsored our grand reopening. I actually had sponsorship from and this one is not ongoing, but I had the Strong Museum sponsor my grand reopening, and they sent some family passes over and stuff like that. So realistically, it just depends on the entity, the business, and what their end goal is.
Very well said. And this is very eye-opening because I'm just seeing I'm just seeing how the esports community and the business ecosystem are intertwined, and
Absolutely.
that was very eye-opening indeed. And have you collaborated with the different esports communities throughout Rochester or even the U.S.?
I have not yet. I actually have just recently spoken to Splice, and so I'm looking just to kind of see from their standpoint how we can work together. They have such a big name here in America and actually across seas as well. And so I would love to sit down with some of their higher ups and see if there's something we can work out as far as working together and helping grow both of our communities.
Absolutely. And And so, I know you've organized a lot of tournaments in the past, and I've been to
Right.
some of them. So when you organize a tournament, how does it go down? Like, how do you organize these tournaments?
The first thing you have to do, you have to be a bit of a pest.
Oh, I
You have to
see.
kind of, you have to remind people, hey, don't forget, tournament coming up in 3 weeks. Hey, don't forget, tournament coming up in 2 weeks. Hey, don't forget, we got a tournament coming up next week. Just so you know, get your ride together. So you kind of have to keep. I've learned over the years, some people you can just kind of throw a general statement out there. They'll see it, they'll mark their calendars, pretty individual. And then some people you kind of have to give them a couple more nudges, like, hey, don't forget. And some folks you pretty much have to extend a personal invitation, like, hey, I would love to see you at my tournament. I haven't seen you in a while. It'd be a great opportunity, great experience. I'd love to see you there. So you just have to kind of be diligent in what you do. And then when you're running tournaments, you have to listen to the community. Obviously, everyone has their way they want to run it, and there's a pretty much a rule set that's kind of set in stone, especially in the fighting game community, as far as some of the games go. And we try to stay uniform when it comes to the rules and the systems and all the different things that happen, because we know players that come to our tournaments also travel all over the U.S. to play in tournaments, and we want to make sure that we keep things as kosher as possible, as uniform as possible. So when they go to other tournaments, they're not dealing with any type of culture shock. So in pretty much in a nutshell, you have to be persistent. You have to be on point. You got to listen to the community, and you have to be ready to deal with setbacks. You have to be ready to deal with no's. You have to be ready to deal with people not showing up. You have to be ready to people with it looking like it's going to be 50 and then only 21 show up. And you can't be disheartened. You can't kind of let those things get you down, because I've seen it here and I've seen it happen in multiple communities when TOs kind of get down and their effort actually decreases when they don't get the results, the desired results, instead of increasing. So you have to be ready for things to go, and sometimes they spike as well, depending on the year. And the time of the year. So you may have a tournament like we had one at AGN. Literally, we had. I remember because it was 3 or 4 months in a row. We had for Super Smash Brothers 4, we had total 70 people show up, and then we had like 61 show up, and then in July it was like the biggest one I've ever had in my store. I had 106 people in there.
Wow.
And yeah, man, it was
I
crazy.
bet it was cramped. I bet you couldn't move.
Yes. And this is at my old location. Right now I have 5,000 square feet to work with, but that old store, it was about 2,100 square feet, or about 2,000 square feet. So it was a lot smaller than I have now. But man, we worked it out. Everybody kind of crammed in there. We played the tournament, and everybody had a great time. But it was one of those days where it was so great. And then the following tournament, we only had like 40 people show up. So you have to be ready to deal with those spikes and those ups and downs of running tournaments.
Would you say that after many years of experience running the tournaments, you kind of know like exactly the season for big spikes in attendance?
I wouldn't be as arrogant to say that, because there's always something going on, and even now there's so many different people that run tournaments, so many different big events that pop up, so many majors, mid majors, and you don't know who's going to go to what. And maybe this person came to my tournament last year because they didn't have the money to travel to Tennessee or to Atlanta or to California, but this year them and their buddies have the money. So now there's 6 less people who would have come to my tournament that are in California or Atlanta or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things happen. Now I know the lows usually happen around the holiday season. I don't expect that for Smash this year, just because Ultimate's coming out.
Oh yes.
So I know that there's so much excitement about that. So I actually expect the numbers to jump this year just because Ultimate's coming out.
Are you gonna be pick up the game? Are you gonna be playing?
Not even. Yes, it's not even close. As soon as I have the opportunity to have that here in the store, it's going to be here.
Which character are you gonna be playing?
I'm big on like the old Nintendo stuff, so I'm looking to either be Simon or Richter. Probably Richter, because I like the way he played a little bit better. I'm always a big Mega Man guy, so I pick up Mega Man. I dabble a little to Pac-Man, a little bit of Cloud, and lately I've been trying a little bit of Link. I'm not great at the game, but I just like to try different characters, see how they work out. But most likely it's going to be one of the Belmonts. I'm excited for Richter and Simon.
Oh my god, me too. I'm excited for Richter and Simon and that King K. Rool. Did you see King K. Rool?
I saw it, man.
Oh
I
my
saw that.
oh my god! And then like another character that I'm hyped for is Wolf. Wolf looked mad
Yeah,
cool. Did you see
Wolf is
that?
back.
Oh my! I
Yeah.
lost my mind when I watched that trailer. Like I almost went crazy. Like
Right.
wow! But you know
I'm
one stage
excited.
that
It's
I
gonna be
oh
beautiful.
continue. Sorry.
No. I'm listening. Go ahead. So
But
it's
you know one stage that I hope they bring back, like
what is it?
you know the Metal Mario stage from the original OG Super Smash
Oh wow. You talking what? Super Nintendo or 64?
64, yeah, Smash
Okay.
64,
Okay.
like the first generation
Yeah.
OG, like yeah, I hope they bring back the Metal Mario stage because that was awesome. I love that. It was
They
tiny
said they're gonna have
stage.
over 100 stages, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I would be really surprised if Metal Mario doesn't make it in
Yeah,
there.
I'd be surprised too. I'd be mad surprised too. I'm like I've been so hyped for that game ever since day one.
Oh man, it's crazy. The excitement has been crazy. The excitement has been crazy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So which games have you supported throughout the duration of a gamer's nostalgia? And
Um,
yeah.
a little bit of everything. I've run tournaments for a lot of different games. I've run it for Madden, for 2K, for Call of Duty. We tried Halo. We're going to be picking up Fortnite pretty soon because obviously the craze is there. Super Smash Brothers by far has been my biggest and most successful run when it comes to tournaments. But we're also with the traditional FTC, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Dead or Alive 5, the Anime Fighters, Guilty Gear, Persona Ultimax, Blaze Blue, Cross Fiction, Unis, just anything you can name. Like if people want to play it, I'm gonna try to find a way to get into tournament, and if nothing else, I'll find a way to make sure that it's in casuals when we host our practice nights every Thursday night.
Mm. Yeah, like I'm gonna come up there and visit you guys in Rochester. I'm in the
It'd be
Buffalo
awesome.
area, and so
Awesome.
like, okay, and you're about like 45 minutes to an hour away from me. So I
Yeah.
definitely will stop by and visit soon.
Love to see you, man. It'd be great to hang out and kick it in person.
Yes, because I remember you saw me at Rumble in the Tundra.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was so exciting. It was like last year. Wow, it was
Yeah,
like
man.
a year
A
ago.
long time ago, right?
Yeah. I hope to see you again soon. Like, will you be at the next one?
I'm trying to see what Brian's going to do with Rumble. I know TFGT is in October 13th, so but I'm gonna try to get up there. It always depends on what's going on in the store and if I'm needed here. If I'm not, then I'll try to make my way over there. But if I'm needed, then unfortunately I have to figure out another time. But I'll definitely try to get up there for some of Zambo's tournaments as well. So
Mm. When's the next tournament for a gamer's nostalgia?
say it again.
When's the next tournament for you
Uh,
guys?
our next tournament, well, we actually have a slate going on. So the next sports tournament is October 6th. That's going to be NBA 2K19, and then the next fighting game tournament is going to be the Super Smash Brothers. It's called the Hold That series. B. Ron named it, and actually PJ named it, and then we voted on it, and that's the name we came up with. So the Smash series was called Untitled Smash, but now it's going to be called Hold That. And so that one's going to be October 20th. And then
Mm.
immediately the day after, we're going to be running a traditional fighting game tournament, which is called Rock City Runback. And that's going to have Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, the Anime Fighters, the 3D Fighters, and the NRS games.
Oh, I might come up for that one. Like, oh my god, this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. It was a long time, and just trying to find the correct location and getting everything together, getting all the financials back together, and making sure that when I come back, I can service the community as best as possible. So I'm happy to have everybody back under the roof and everybody back participating in practices and tournaments, meeting back up. And I heard all the stories of them trying to find a place to meet while I was closed. So I'm happy that we could put that to bed now.
Mm. Oh yes, and I'm just so happy that I just hope you guys continue to be successful in all you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. And do you run a gamer's nostalgia by yourself, or do you have
I
a group
do.
of people? Oh,
I
you
do.
do.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm the sole proprietor of a Gamers Nostalgia. Obviously, I have employees and volunteers, But all the day-to-day, the big decision making, that's all done on myself.
Okay, I see. I see. So you're in a leadership position. I see.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us about what it's like to be in a leadership position and any advice you would have to anybody to any aspiring leaders out there for the future?
I would say the first thing when you're in a leadership position, you have to. It's almost a position of servitude because you have to pay attention to what's going on around you, and to be a leader, you have to know who you're leading. So you have to ingratiate yourself with your community. You have to ingratiate yourself with the people of the community, and then moving further along than that, you have to make sure that you're a person that they can follow. If you have a bit of a abrasive or brass personality, sometimes you have to kind of tone it down. You have to kind of find your happy medium to deal with some different folks, because communities are full of different personalities, different races, different breeds, different everything, and you have to be ready to deal with all that and deal with what comes with them. I would say the first thing is just to understand that even though you're a leader, not to let it go to your head. Like you're in charge, but in a sense, your flock is kind of going to give you the direction that you need to go in order to grow and in order for them to graze. And the second thing is just understand that failure is going to happen. There's a lot of folks that can attest to, man. We have some tournaments and events that flopped, just completely. Wow, where's everybody at? So understand that failure is going to happen, and when you deal with that, um, um, always be ready to self-assess, and you have to look at, well, what did I do? What did we do? Where did I go wrong? Where did we fall short? What decision did I make that caused this to not be as much of a success as I wanted? So once you self assess rather, you have to put a plan into action after that, because you can look at yourself all you want, but if you don't do anything afterwards, the self assessment is useless. So after that, you have to put a plan in action. Okay, I didn't advertise through social media enough. Okay, I didn't reach out to individuals enough. Okay, I'm not showing up to other people's events and supporting them, but I'm expecting them to support me. So all these different things, and you have to find who does what. And we have a really good relationship with Buffalo and Syracuse, and we're always sending players to them. They're always sending players to us. If I can't make it up, I'll send a couple dollars for a pop bonus, or I'll send some stuff to be raffled off. So all these different things that we do and we deal with, it's all a part of being a leader. And for people who are aspiring to be a leader in the future, just understand, you're going to have to grow. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to adapt. What you expect your market to be, what you expect your business or your vision or your whatever you have coming to be, it may not end up being that. What my original business plan, like every now and then I look at it and it makes me laugh, because what my original business plan was is not at all what my business is today. Aside from being an arcade, the things I had to change, the things I had to adapt, and sometimes begrudgingly, the things I had to let go of, allowed me to grow to what I am today.
That was well said. That was
Thank
a
you.
round of applause. That was the best. You're amazing. You're a true leader. Like, you know what's up, and I really admire your courage, and I admire your leadership. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where do you see yourself and a gamer's nostalgia 5 years from now?
5 5 years from now, uh, I hope to see a game of nostalgia, and I expect to see a game of nostalgia very successful. I expect to see a couple AGNs up and down the East Coast. I would love to expand. Obviously, I would love to have a location, maybe somewhere in a suburban location in Rochester. But I would love to have AGN um, up and down the East Coast, whether it be Charlotte, Delaware, New Jersey, whatever the case, Atlanta, Florida, whatever the case may be. I would just love to have locations in multiple cities and see how um, I fare in different markets and how AGN fares in different markets. I want to be a place where people just are AGN. When they think AGN is just synonymous with video games and synonymous with the gaming world in general. So I almost want that to be like the kind of a household name. You think AGN. Oh, okay. What you think video games? You think tournaments, birthday parties, overnight lock-ins, whatever. You just think video games. You think AGN. So I would love for that to be the end goal. And I would love for that to be where we are in 5 years. Right now, it's looking pretty good. Obviously, there's always work to be done, people to be introduced to, and things to be done in businesses to be connected with. But I would love to see AGN just kind of be a gaming hub and a place that no matter what you play, how you play it, when and where you play, that you know that you can come to AGN and not only play it here, but find other people who do the same thing you do.
And that's amazing. That is an amazing vision. That's an amazing vision, and I love that vision.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It wasn't my vision when I originally opened, but just dealing with all the folks and all the gamers here, just kind of it turned into this, and I'm actually really happy that it turned into what it is.
Mm-hmm. What was your vision when you originally opened it?
Originally, I just wanted to be a place that people come play video games. I'm a big gamer, and I know Rochester didn't have any arcades, and I just wanted to be an arcade for Rochester to be, for players to come and hang out and have a good time. So it's just kind of it's the same vision or a similar vision. I think it's just evolved over the year,
Beautiful. And do you have any additional comments, advice, or anything you want to say to the gaming and esports communities in Rochester, the U.S., and even the entire world?
Well, first of all, thank you, everybody. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much to everyone who supported me and everyone who's kind of rocked out and everyone who's believed in the dream, even sometime when it didn't look pretty, and believing that I could fix things, believing that I could elevate a gamer's nostalgia to standards that would be respected. So I truly thank everyone who has been along for the ride. Just guys like Kyle, a.k.a. Kid Goggles, and Neil, a.k.a. Pika Pika, San, guys I've sponsored over the years, Ivory, Amber, who's done a lot of work as far as the flyers and being involved, and Nate, who was a volunteer for years, Keyshawn, who's one of my volunteers right now. I'm very grateful for the people who in the community who believed in me. Sometimes it's almost it puts me in awe to think that, man, like these people, like I could feel, how sometimes you can just feel the vibe of people around you. Like I can feel when I'm in the room with them that they believe in me and they believe in AGN, and they don't just say it with their words; they say it with their actions. They say it with their hearts and with their souls. So it's just the first thing is just thanking everybody, and I would just say for the esports and for the communities in general, just keep being awesome. Always stamp out negativity. Always nip that stuff in the bud. Try to keep the toxicity out of the FGC, out of the all the different communities that you have. There's always going to be some toxic folk. There's always going to be some people who are on the level of being toxic or being close. It's always all types of reasons. Maybe their game isn't a game that's played anymore, or maybe something that they became really good at is irrelevant now. Or maybe they had one bad experience in the community and now they want to kind of ruin it for everyone else. But always be a beacon of light, always be a beacon of hope when it comes to gaming, and always be ready to give back, man. And be ready to, if it's an up-and-coming gamer, if it's someone who does what you do, never be intimidated by someone coming behind you. Always understand that even sometimes if it's just because you're getting up there in age, that people are going to surpass you in your skill level. So, but I would say continue to be what you are, which is amazing. So.
Awesome. Very well said. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Christopher.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, the platform to speak. Awesome. It's been awesome. I would love to be here again.
Awesome. We're going to have more podcasts together. It's going to be an amazing time. Yes. Tell all your friends about this awesome podcast.
I sure will. Awesome. You send it to me. I'll push it out, man. I definitely will do that.
Yeah. I'll definitely send this to you after. I'll send this to you.
It sounds great, man. I look forward to hearing it.
Awesome.
Sharing it with the world. Thank you again for inviting me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. And we appreciate this awesome podcast. This is Bowie Abiola at Raise Your Game Esports signing out.